2018, when I was doing my initial research, there just weren't a lot that like I jived with. Like there weren't a lot that I felt like I saw myself in. I didn't feel reflected. I just didn't feel reflected, or I just couldn't find what I was looking for. And I think, it comes down to the age-old adage of you cannot see what you cannot be. Like when we have career days in high school, you have the firefighters come in, you have the media moguls come in, you have the teachers come in, you have whatever, but you do not have cosmetic chemists come in and tell you about how to launch a career in perfumery. Like, that's not a thing. And I think it really boils down to that. Like, we don't even see it as an option for ourselves because no one has educated us or no one has presented the opportunity for us to learn about it.
Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get real answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. My name is Aquia Robinson, and I'm a makeup artist, beauty educator, and the creator of Friends in Beauty. I created Friends in Beauty to support like-minded creatives just like you on their quest to connect, network, and build genuine relationships within the beauty community. Join me every week as me and my special guests reveal the keys to success and longevity in the beauty industry, and most importantly, have fun while doing it. You ready? Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty, Aquia Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I am so happy to have you here with me, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. If you are a friend in beauty, I welcome you to join the Friends in Beauty Facebook community. If you're looking for a community of like-minded, ambitious friends in beauty to virtually connect with, network, and share resources, then click the link down below in the show description to join our community, and I'll be there to welcome you with open arms. Also, follow Friends in Beauty on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty. What I like to do is something called the Friends in Beauty Friday feature, where every Friday I spotlight a different friend in beauty and their accomplishments. So no matter how big or small you think it is, I want to shout you out. I want to send you some good vibes. So all you have to do is use the hashtag FIB Friday feature, tag Friends in Beauty on something that you have accomplished, and I'll share it with the community. Additionally, the Friends in Beauty podcast is available on several platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google, YouTube, you name it. And whatever platform you are listening from right now, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into the Friends in Beauty podcast. I truly appreciate you so much. And I would love it even further if you took the time to leave a 5-star rating, a review, a comment, a like, a share, a subscribe, or something to let me know how you feel about the Friends in Beauty podcast. I would absolutely love it. And also, I have to tell you that you should join the Friends in Beauty mailing list tribe if you haven't already, because they are the first to know about all things Friends in Beauty, and I send out different business resources, tips, and advice throughout the week. So if that's something that you're interested in, the link for that will be in the description as well. And last but not least, the most important thing is to share the Friends in Beauty podcast with your other friends in beauty, your family, your friends, anybody that you think could benefit from the information that is being shared. Share away to help me grow the Friends in Beauty community. Now, on this episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast, I welcome Brianna Arps to the Friends in Beauty guest chair. Brianna is the creator of the Black-owned fragrance label Moodeaux. Moodeaux exists to enhance the way scent-crazed beauty fanatics think about and ultimately practice self-care. A clean, luxury fragrance label that is a direct link between smelling good and feeling good. Moodeaux fragrances are 100% made for the skin without alcohol, water, or dyes to help accessorize your mood at less of a cost to the environment. As a former New York City editor who got started in beauty, Brianna has been privileged to test and write about countless amazing products, many of them created by Black women, yet none dealing with her favorite accessory, fragrance. When the time came for her to move on and forge a new career path, she knew she had to do something about it. But what she didn't know was how hard launching in this industry can be when you lack the contacts, resources, and funds readily available to others. Moodeaux and Blackened Fragrance are her vision and hope for change. I absolutely enjoyed this conversation with Brianna. She was just so cool, and I felt like I was just talking to a longtime friend for real. In this interview, Brianna shares her inspiration for creating Moodeaux and Blackened Fragrance, what goes into the development of creating a fragrance brand, how she leveraged her relationships from past jobs to launch Moodeaux, the importance of doing your trademark research and trademarking your brand, how she feels about being the first Black fragrance label in Credo Beauty, and how Moodeaux was able to land in retail 7 months after launching, where to get funding for your business, what's next for Moodeaux, and so much more. This was such a fun chat with Brianna, I'm telling you, and I learned so much about the world of fragrance that I did not know. So let's go ahead and jump into this chat with Brianna, and if you prefer to watch our beautiful faces, then tune in on YouTube. Enjoy. Welcome to the Friends of Beauty podcast, Brianna.
Thank you. This is great. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you because you are the first of your kind on the podcast. I've never had a fragrance brand on the podcast, so I'm super excited to learn all about it. Yes. So before we get started, let's do some icebreakers.
Okay.
So that we get to know you outside of beauty.
Yeah, why not? I love it.
So the first one, just give us 3 random facts about you.
Oh, wow. 3 random facts about me. I'm really clumsy. I've broken a hip. I've broken a foot. I've broken some fingers. I would say I'm clumsy. I guess that's a random fact. Another random fact about me is I'm a St. Louis native. So born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri, and have lived in New York City, Atlanta, all around.
Nice.
Another fact about me, random, I have a dog. Her name is Luna, Miss Luna Beans. She's a little small Habapoose, a toy poodle / Havanese. She's 3, acts like she's 21, but I love her. I love her so much.
I love that. Those are some pretty interesting icebreakers.
I know, like very random, not connected, but it's fine.
The broken hip still got me. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it was rough. I was 15, so that was rough.
What was the downtime for that?
Oh, it was like 3 months, but there's nothing really you can do for a hip or like how I broke it. So I was on crutches for 3 months and just, had to make it do what it do, right? It was not fun at all.
That is crazy. So I have these things called pod decks.
Okay.
Cool. Cards that's like a would you rather and a what the heck deck.
Okay.
Like, what would you like?
I would say, would you rather? Let's do that one.
Would you rather? And sometimes the questions are crazy, and sometimes I've been getting some cool ones lately. So I'm gonna pick a random card. Oh Lord, this thing says, would you rather have long nose hair or long ear hair?
I was just talking to my boyfriend about his nose hair. So I'm gonna go with, actually, no, ear hair. Let's go with nose hair, because I feel like nose hair, people can understand that one. Ear hair, I'm not sure how I would explain that. And it sounds painful. It sounds, I don't know. Yeah, nose hair.
I can cover mine, so I'll probably go with ear.
Yeah, I can't. I don't, I'm looking, y'all, I need a haircut. So we're like hat gang until a haircut. So yeah, I have no hair to cover up my ear hair if I were to have any. Right? Yes, nose hair.
Yeah. What do people always tell you that you're good at aside from what you do professionally?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Aside from what I do professionally, what am I good at? I guess I'm going to be lame and say networking or just people connecting. That's kind of work related, but I'm very outgoing, extroverted person. I make friends very, very easily. So I would say that people think that I'm good at for a good time. Like if you're down to have a random night, actually, ironically, we just had a random night yesterday. I had a friend invite me to dinner and then we ended up not at dinner in a whole other world. I'm like down to have a good time. I'm a good people person and people connector, I would say. Yeah.
We need more of you in the world, help the world go round.
Yeah. Connect the people. I love it.
When is the last time you did something for the first time?
Wow. For the first time. I feel like every day I'm doing something new, but oh, wow. That's a hard one. What do I want to say? Is my example. I don't know. I feel like I'm always doing something new, especially when you're running a business. Like, I've consulted a lot of people and like done a lot of things in the beauty and marketing worlds, but it's nothing like being in the driver's seat yourself and being the one to make all of the decisions. So I feel like every day I'm doing something for the first time as it relates to growing my business. So I that's a lame answer, but it's true. It's the truth.
It's so true though. I totally get it. Yes.
Yes.
Last one. So if you weren't the creator of Moodeaux, what else could you see yourself doing right now?
Oh yeah, I definitely can see myself launching an eyewear line. So fun fact, I guess that this should have been my random fact, honestly. I have like over 100 pairs of sunglasses. Like, no, I'm like not even kidding you. It's ridiculous how many pairs of sunglasses I have.
Yeah.
Most of them are designer brand sunglasses. So I have a thing for eyewear. So I would say I would be doing something in the eyewear space if it wasn't fragrance. And who knows, that might be down the line. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I like that. That's a very unique and like fun answer because
yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. That was like a really good like, icebreaker.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I would love to know, who is Brianna? Like, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I am the founder and CEO of Moodeaux, which is a clean luxury fragrance label that designs fragrances and perfumes to help people flaunt how they feel. Like that is our whole crux. That's what we do at our core. We're all about empowerment. I am a 8-year beauty industry veteran slash just industry veteran in general. I'm a journalist by trade, started my career in New York City at publications like Us Weekly, Business Insider, Refinery29, etc. Left those roles, moved on to consulting, and I've been consulting, it was like 8 years or so. I'm like really into beauty. I'm really into marketing, obviously really into fragrance and perfume. That's a little bit me in a nutshell, really.
Okay, how was your time at those different publications?
It was fun. Like I feel like I learned I learned something at every place that I was at. Every opportunity I've had, I've been able to learn something that luckily I've been able to transfer over to Moodeaux. So, storytelling is huge, not just like with our brand, but just online brand or just brands in general, like being able to tell a good story or help people see themselves through your brands and products. That's important. So transferable skills, I think, are something that I take away from each one of those posts. Refinery29 might have been my favorite just because it was a dream at that time. Like I was 23 and was an editor there, which was awesome. I got to be a part of a lot of cool things that I think honestly really shaped the way in which, I chose to launch Moodeaux. So I've learned something everywhere I've been.
That's really cool. I always wanted to do something with Refinery29. Like back in the day when they used to do like those little tutorials, like quick.
Yeah, random. Yes, the videos. Yes.
Yeah, so cool.
They're good. They're dope.
Yeah, they really dope. And I saw they just did something else recently, some kind of conference, not a conference, but
Unbothered. Yeah, Unbothered had the glow up down in Atlanta here. I went. It was fun. It was really cool to see, having worked at Refinery and like having been in the rooms when Unbothered was being created and, ideated for that to be, my experience. And then fast forward, I don't know, almost 5 years later. And like now we're at a physical event, catered to Black women, put on by Refinery29 Unbothered. It was really kind of surreal to see, but fun. So yes, totally cool. Such a cool brand.
I love that. Do you remember what your first luxury fragrance was that you purchased like on your own?
On my own, that's a little murky, but I do remember my first few scents that I requested. So actually, my grandma that's the person I think who I credit. Not even I know who I credit my obsession with fragrance with. We're as kids, I feel like we all used to do it. We always get in the adult stuff, always mess around with things we weren't supposed to. For me, that was like messing around in my grandma's vanity, in her beauty cabinet, just looking to see what she had. And she had like everything. She had the vintage Dior, the vintage, I think it was like Dior Poison that she has still up there because she still has it. It's about time to throw it away, obviously. But just messing around with all of her fragrances got me into it. And when it became time for me to kind of build my collection, I remember asking for a few different scents. The first one I remember very vividly is an Ed Hardy perfume. I don't know if this is dating me a little bit, but we had an Ed Hardy wave where everyone was on Ed Hardy, and I got that fragrance for Valentine's Day. It smells really good. But before that, I think my very first one, honestly, was Juicy Couture.
Okay, yeah, classic.
Juicy Couture. So, like the first fragrance they came out with, I was obsessed. And then I grew my collection from there. So Juicy, Ed Hardy, were my go-tos back then. Those were my first ones.
I love that. This is so random, but do fragrances have expiration dates?
Yes, they do. The juice does expire, and it's often between like 12 to 36 months.
Okay.
There's like safety stickers on the bottom, depending on like the formulations. Like our products are good for 12 months after opening. We are oil-based. Our supercharged skin scent is oil-based, so it has a shorter shelf life in comparison to your traditional eau de parfums that have alcohol in them and have a higher alcohol count. Yeah, like 12 to 36 months is like the safe range for fragrance.
Okay. I never thought about that, because I know some people probably just be saving them things for years.
Saving them, and that's okay to ration. Like, and that's a really good, you bring up a good point, because a lot of times people don't know necessarily how to store their fragrance properly. Like, stay away from the sunlight, make sure it's in a cool, kind of like dark place. You can display them. Yeah. But like try to keep them out of the bathroom. Steam is horrible for fragrance. It oxidizes the product. So yeah, it just, small little things like that could help extend the shelf life and whatnot.
Okay. Nice. So were you still working at, I don't know, wherever? Where was your last job before Moodeaux?
My last job before Moodeaux was at Refinery 29. So I was unfortunately laid off in, October of 2018. So that's really what catapulted me into deciding to become an entrepreneur, was experiencing that kind of life low where I had to figure out what was next. So I really leaned into my beauty rituals. Like I said, I'm a beauty girl through and through. And on the days when I just didn't really feel like getting up and getting dressed and doing the full shebang, I knew that I could rely on a spritz of perfume and it's an instant mood booster, right? Like it's something that, we all can relate to as far as like when you smell something, it just triggers a memory, it triggers a good thought or something positive. So, I really leaned into that, and fragrance was the thing that kind of got me out of the depressive state that I was in. And I was like, you know what? Like, I don't see a lot of Black women owned luxury mainstream fragrance brands. Like I can't just go into Nordstrom or Sephora or Saks. Like I just can't go into these spaces and find these brands. So I'm like, well, let's just create one ourselves. And that's really like what catapulted me into the founder sphere, I guess, if you will.
Yeah, I love that. What goes into making a fragrance brand? And then like, how long did it take you from like the ideation, the idea that you had, to like when you launched?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. It was a journey. It was a 3-year journey. Like 3 years went into making Moodeaux what it is today. But honestly, too, I'm really type A and really detail oriented. So could it have gone a little faster? Maybe, but I really relished in the process. Like it's a lot of market research. It's a lot of talking to potential customers and just figuring out what people might like, because unlike color cosmetics, where you can physically see what something looks like, or you can experience it online without really having to go in stores or try it, like fragrance isn't like that.
Yes.
What you see is not necessarily always what you get. And so you have to be really strategic in how you're telling the story. So we spent a lot of time figuring out like, what is the brand story? What is the product story? Like, how are we going to convey this information to people? And at the same time, create something that is fun and new and like innovative and fresh. So it took us 3 years, took us 3 long years. And we launched officially, what was that? October 1st, 2021.
Nice. Okay. Because I was going to ask you that too. Like, what is the secret to marketing something like a fragrance? Because it's not something that you can see. It's like something that you would have to have in like your hand in order to say if you like it or not.
So yeah, it's mainly like, I mean, obviously we tell the story of like the notes. We share the information of like what's in it. Worthy is our debut scent, so it has a lot of sorry. Someone's like distracted me. We have a lot of like amber, vanilla. We have some lavender, red rose, orange blossom, white tea, like all of these very comforting, grounding notes that, you know, when you smell them, I want them to feel like you're just giving yourself this hug. Like it's very comforting. And so that's kind of what we, you know, the notes are what we leaned into when telling the story on like what this smells like. And then once we launched, our community really kind of does a lot of the work for us. You know, Worthy has spread like wildfire, thanks to people who love it and they're talking about it. And so
absolutely,
a little bit of it. Yeah.
that's cool. Is there anything that I guess maybe you discovered or it was revealed as like a brand owner or founder of a fragrance versus like a consumer? Is it anything that was like, oh, you know, that went into making the fragrance, or that happens behind the scenes?
Yeah, like I was talking to someone about this not too long ago, but like as a consumer, I never found myself questioning things like with it when it came to fragrance. Like I didn't go to the perfume counter and ask them what was inside of this. I just assumed it was safe, trusted it, and like moved on. Whereas as a person who has their own brand, like we are rooted in intentionality with everything that we do, from our brand name, the logo, to what goes inside of our formulations. And so being inside of this world, I'm so conscious about what we're putting in our products and what people are putting on their skin. And I think that was one of the main kind of more eye-opening events in kind of switching roles and putting on this founder hat, right? Like just being really super conscientious about the formulation, and making sure like it was performing well and that it was good for people. So
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I don't know when it was, maybe some months ago, one of my friends sent me like maybe a reel or Instagram story. It was about fragrances, but it was talking about how a lot of these fragrances, like mainstream ones, like if you spray it on your skin and it gets into your bloodstream, how for women it's causing like all of these health concerns that like a lot of women have, like with like cysts and like reproductive stuff too.
Yeah.
I had no clue.
Yeah. And that's just with like the beauty world in general, like what we put on our skin, like it does not take long to be absorbed into our bloodstreams, or like, and that's just in general. And I think the beauty industry is waking up to the fact that like we need to be more responsible. And like not only are they waking up to the fact, like customers and consumers and like the community at large are demanding that. They're demanding ingredient transparency, they're demanding cleaner products. And so the industry is shifting in a way that I'm appreciative of, because it just makes it a safer environment for us all, people who own brands or who are leading the charge with products, and then those who are consuming them. Because at the end of the day, we all consume stuff, right? So why not just make things better from the jump?
Yeah, absolutely. When you were building Moodeaux, I gotta slow down and say Moodeaux.
Yes.
When you were building Moodeaux, did you go through any challenges or setbacks that kept you from launching sooner? Or just
oh God, yeah. Like every other day, it felt like there was something going on, especially as we were gearing up to launch. We are initially wanted to launch in 2020, and then obviously this global pandemic, you know, began, and we're still in it. You know, a lot of people have kind of turned their cheeks to it, or like have learned to live with what people are calling the new normal. But for people who own brands or who sell items or manufacture items, we know that like overseas, especially if you have a global supply chain, overseas is still crazy. Like processes and systems have not caught up. There's still outbreaks overseas. Like when that happens, warehouses shut down. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and that did go on behind the scenes that prevented us from launching on our original timeline. But I think, you know, when I really sit and reflect on it, I'm glad we didn't launch when we did. It gave us time to tweak things, make things better. It gave us time to do some more social listening to really make sure that what we came out with was strong. But yeah, every other day there's something, and there's still something. And I think that that's what makes it fun. Like if this was easy, I don't think I would be doing it. I'm someone who's really into a challenge. someone who doesn't like hearing no. I'm someone who, if you tell me I can't do something, I'm like, okay, bet. And then I'm going to try to do it. So I don't think that I would be as motivated and fueled and fired up about doing this and building this brand if it was easy. So I'm okay with the things that kind of didn't go right.
Absolutely. Do you have any advice for people who want to start their own fragrance brand? Like things that they should be looking out for?
Well, the first thing I would say is just do it. Like if it flashes across your mind, to do it, but know that, you know, you have something unique inside of you. Like you have a unique product story. You have a unique story to tell. And I think that that's what I always lead with is that, you know, great, do it. Like always do it. If it's something that you want to do, go ahead. But like also try to figure out in ways in which that you can add value, or try to find a way in which you can plug a hole that you see in the industry, because there's a lot of saturation out here, but there's also still a lot of room to be new and innovative. And the community, the beauty community at large, consumers, like we want that, we crave that. So I would say to do it, find your unique point of view, tell a unique story, create a unique product, and just get out there. That's like my best advice.
Yeah, I love that. Now you mentioned earlier, like one of your superpowers, I guess, connecting with people, networking. I love like networking. So I had to tell you. So that's how Friends in Beauty started.
Yes, I love.
Yeah, Friends in Beauty started out of my love for networking. I was in like a coaching program and my coach was trying to help me figure out like what was unique about me and like my journey.
Yeah.
And through talking to her, she was like, it's networking. Like literally, I just love meeting new people and everything. So I started hosting networking events for the beauty community. I'm in DC, so in the DC area. And it was like amazing. I was going to go on a whole tour, like different cities, and then the pandemic, stopped me.
Yeah.
I absolutely love networking because I literally attribute networking and building relationships to every single major opportunity I have gotten as a makeup artist was me, building a relationship with somebody and then, them remembering me. So I would love to know, like, how have you been able to leverage your relationships that you built over the years in order to launch your brand?
Yeah, I would say my relationships became really, really valuable when it came time to getting feedback. Because as a business owner, like the worst thing that you can do is to pour a lot of money, time, energy into something that is not needed. And that's not to say that it's not a good idea, but it may signal that a lot of research wasn't done, or that you weren't as sure about who your audience was and you didn't talk to them. So networking really, came into play with getting that real-time feedback. Like I have friends, colleagues, mentors who saw our decks, our product decks, our brand decks, just knew about things like 3 years ago, like well before this even became a reality for us. They knew about it. And so I'm glad and fortunate to have forged those relationships over time, and that I was able to lean on people for their advice, or lean on people for their feedback, which has proven to me and to us at Moodeaux to be invaluable.
Yeah. This is random too. Questions keep popping up. Where does the name Moodeaux come from?
Oh, girl, that's a good question. Like fun fact, that was not even the brand's original name. Like it was not Moodeaux. Like I'm embarrassed to say what the original name was, but I'll tell you just for the sake of storytelling, because I'm a storyteller. The first name was Moody Beauty, and I just really loved the notion of including the root word mood. Like mood and fragrance go hand in hand, because again, our sense of smell is so powerful, and a lot of times people just forget that. And it has been scientifically proven to kind of affect our moods. Like fragrance, sense of smell, like it's proven. And so I knew I wanted mood in there. Beauty, because like beauty, but then I spelt it so funky, it wasn't even it was a hot ass mess. And I got a call from my lawyer one day, and they were like, well, we have really bad news. Like we won't be able to proceed with the trademark filing request because a brand called Mood Beauty has filed 2 weeks before us. So I was devastated. Like I knew that I was dragging my feet, but I didn't think it would be a big deal. No. My lawyer said, yeah, put the pin in that. cried for like a day. And then I came up with Moodeaux. I told my boyfriend, I was like, what do you think about this? And he wasn't my boyfriend at the time. So he's been riding with me for a minute. But anyway, I told him, and he's like, I like it, but just sit on it. And I was like, no, I gotta move. Like, if this lesson has taught me anything, it's like, if you have an idea, you need to move on it. And so we filed for that, like, I don't know, shortly thereafter. And, you know, Moodeaux really is mood, as in the root word mood, and then O as a play on like eau de parfum. So when you squish them together, you get Moodeaux.
I love that. And I love that story. And it's gonna help so many people, because like closer to when I first started the podcast, I had a trademark expert on here. And you cannot stress the importance enough of just like trademarking your stuff. Like, imagine if you didn't even have the know-how to say, oh, I need to trademark this, and you went on and created all this stuff with
we did. And like, that's why I was sitting there crying my eyes out
early on though, and not like,
I wish I would have, because we had hired a designer and everything, and we had started brand building, which at the end of the day, it really all works out, because the brand in which we were still building it, but at the same time, there were brands, not necessarily in fragrance, but beauty in general, who were launching with our same aesthetic. So it ended up working out, because we wouldn't have been as identifiable in the market 3 years later, you know, when it really became time to launch, because, you know, other brands have already had that kind of look and whatever. So it ended up working out. But yeah, we lost like thousands of dollars in that whole process, because I didn't have the awareness to like do the legal stuff first. And like, I think a lot of creative people just want to be creative. We're not worried about like all that other stuff. But best believe now, if I have an idea, I have so many pending trademarks right now, like that are, you know, and I don't even know when I'm going to activate all those ideas, but just the fact that I know that I can claim ownership to them allows me to sleep peacefully at night.
Yes, that's empowering too, to know.
Yeah, like, go for it. It's expensive. Now, I'm pretty sure the trademark professional who was on earlier in another episode mentioned it, but it's such an investment in self that I don't think you can't put a price tag on that. Even though it's expensive, at the end of the day, it's important.
Absolutely, yeah. You look you look like you played this game. Have you ever played Never Have I Ever before?
Yeah, I feel like we all have, but like with an adult beverage in hand, but there's no adult beverage in hand today. We are being professional, but no, I love this game.
Okay, so I have a different version on the podcast. So I'm going to give you a Never Have I Ever statement.
Okay.
Like, if you have done it before, then you have to tell us the story. And if not, then I don't know if there's an alternative for this one. Maybe you know somebody that has done it, or you could tell us. Okay. So the statement I have for you is, never have I ever lied about what fragrance I was wearing so that no one else could copy it.
Oh yeah, I've lied. These days I don't lie, because I mostly wear Worthy, my own fragrance. So, but I've lied and it was bad. We got to stop lying to each other. And this is not just with fragrance. I've lied about clothes, where I got that, or like, I just like, oh, I don't know. I think it's I'm more of a, like, I don't know, lie by omission person. But, but now it's just like, yeah, I'll tell you anything you want to know. Cause like, I think a lot of times that comes from a place of insecurity. It's like, but when you're not as insecure or whatever, I'm an open book. So yeah, I've done it though.
Okay. So I know that you just had a really big fun thing that just happened. Is it Credo Beauty or Credo?
Yeah, Credo. We launched at Credo, our first retailer. That was fun.
Yes. How does that feel to be the first Black-owned fragrance label at Credo Beauty?
It feels really good. It feels very empowering. I do feel like we have a lot of responsibility though, like, because it's one thing to be the first, but I don't want to be the last. And so in order for that to be the reality, we have to do well, but also like we need to hold ourselves accountable to bringing other people up into the fold with us. So I'm excited. Credo is such an awesome partner. They've been very supportive from the jump. Like, even before we launched, that's kind of how that relationship started. Like, speaking of relationships, like even before we became who we are today, as in like visible in the marketplace, they knew about us. And They've been very eager to support, like I said, and very just as excited about the partnership as we are, which I think makes it all the more fun when both parties are equally vested and you're doing something good.
Yeah, absolutely. And then getting into retail 7 months after being on the market, who do you have on your team, like in order for stuff like this to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I have myself but I work with a select number of like really cool independent contractors, maybe hopefully full-time employees. I don't know down the line when we get there, but I work with an amazing team who's very supportive and great at what they do in their particular function, so that I know if there's a task that I can give it to them and that it will get done, or we can talk about it, brainstorm our way through it. I think there's nothing that you see today that someone else hasn't impacted. Like I've done a lot of the grunt work, but I know I can't do it alone. And I'm fortunate to have people who believed in this crazy dream before it even became a reality and just were willing to lend themselves to building the dream, I think. Yeah,
absolutely. These independent contractors, are they from places like Fiverr and Upwork and stuff like that, or is it people that
No, not Fiverr, Upwork. I haven't ever used one of those services before. I'm not opposed to it, but really it's through networking and just maintaining relationships. Like our publicist, I've known them for years because they used to be, or they are the publicist of a former employer of mine. So when it came time to launching and I knew that I would want to launch with the publicist or a team of publicists, she was the first person that I called. They were the first people that I called. So they're really, everyone's good at what they do. Some people are overseas. Well, there's one person who's overseas who works with me on the website a lot, like any glitch or whatever. He kind of like helps me with that. We have a lot of people. Not a lot. Let me not lie. Because it is not a lot. It is not a lot by any means. But we have a core group of people who I know can do their jobs well.
Yeah, I love that, because I'm in the process of trying to figure out how to hire people, but I think the hardest part is figuring out what I want to delegate and what I want to let go.
That part, that's good, because then for me it was not only that, it was also like the trust factor. It's like, okay, like finding a good person is one thing, but then also trusting them enough to delegate. I think that's where a lot of like founder, entrepreneur, CEOs kind of get stuck, because we're so used to working solo, or just we have such a specific vision that we just feel inclined to want to do everything, but like that's not productive. Like there's only 24 hours a day and I cannot do all of the things if I'm fixated on one. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like that trust factor, and also I feel like funding. Did you have any funding?
Yeah.
Like paying these people, producing the product?
Yeah, we're bootstrapped in that, I've spent a lot of my own money when I worked in corporate America. Like right now I do a little bit of consulting too, but really most of my paychecks went straight to Moodeaux, like in buying things that we need or preparing for launch. Now I'm happy that we're sustainable enough in that, like, it's a running old ship. It's an old ship, and that, we're relying a little bit less on me. There are some times where I'm like putting money back into the brand, obviously, but the brand is able to kind of sustain itself in some way, which is awesome. But we've won some grants, which I'm always telling people, get that money, like apply to these opportunities, because I don't know when they're going to run out. And I don't know when they're going to stop caring about Black folks. Like, and I hope they never do, because a lot of their commitments say that they won't. But like, while the spotlight is on Black founders, entrepreneurs, and CEOs, I'm always telling people to get that money. Of anything you see, even if you don't even think you're qualified, or if you don't think you're going to get it, shoot your shot. Because this money out here is real. It's real. There's millions of dollars out here. So why not try? Why not?
Right. I love that. Is there a particular site that you went to find the grants?
There's a few different ones that always share opportunities. So like Hello Alice is a good resource. I Fund Women is a great resource. We're a part of the New Voices family since we want to grant through New Voices. They're always sharing information. I think on Instagram, it's New Voices Family or New Voices Foundation. I'm not quite sure, but they're always sharing. Subscribe to their newsletters. What other? There's so many platforms now that are aggregating opportunities. Those are like my main ones I could think off the top of my head, but there's so many. Or even if you Google, like you're bound to come across some sort of listing where there's some deadlines approaching. So those are a few good spots.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I definitely heard of Hello Alice, and someone else just mentioned New Voices, I feel like, on a previous episode.
Yeah, they're legit. Like New Voices is legit. Like they are a really good collective of executives who understand the buying power of Black women or just Black people in general, people of color. They really understand that, and they are amazing at connecting us with opportunities through their own programming or co-programming, or they're really great at leveraging existing opportunities to make sure that like we get a seat at the table. And New Voices is unlike a lot of other platforms because you can tell they just care so deeply about the work. And it's awesome. It's awesome to be a part of their family now.
Yeah, I love that for you. Yes.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about Blackened Fragrance? I know that's another venture that you have going on.
Yeah, so Blackened Fragrance launched at the same time as Moodeaux. It is a service organization dedicated in getting more Black and brown people in the fragrance world. Like literally, I mean, we say Black, but and people of color, yes. In the fragrance world, because simply put, there's just not enough of us. Like the fragrance industry is such a whitewash, Eurocentric like thing. Like a lot of people don't know, like their favorite fragrances often come from these huge conglomerates that own like the bulk of the market share and just spit out these products. Like there's not a lot of room for us because we haven't forced people to pay attention. And like that's all of what Blackened Fragrance is about. It's about providing access to cash grants. We've given some grants to 3 individuals thus far, giving cash grants to people to do their thing, to launch their brands, to buy those business cards, to submit that trademark application, or whatever barrier they feel like they're facing. Like we want to help them get through it through, like I said, those grants or just education resources, share what I've learned along the way, share what we've all learned along the way. And it's exciting to kind of be leading the front in that way, but it's for everyone. Blackened Fragrance is for everyone, and that it's a collaborative effort. I can't do this alone, and we need more people on board. So I'm really happy that you mentioned Blackened Fragrance because it's so dear to my heart, really.
Absolutely. Why do you think that is not that many Black-owned fragrance brands?
I think so in 2018, when I was doing my initial research, there just weren't a lot that like I jived with. Like there weren't a lot that I felt like I saw myself in. I didn't feel reflected. I just didn't feel reflected, or I just couldn't find what I was looking for. And I think, it comes down to the age-old adage of you cannot see what you cannot be. Like when we have career days in high school, you have the firefighters come in, you have the media moguls come in, you have the teachers come in, you have whatever, but you do not have cosmetic chemists come in and tell you about how to launch a career in perfumery. Like that's not a thing. And I think it really boils down to that. Like we don't even see it as an option for ourselves because no one has educated us or no one has presented the opportunity for us to learn about it. Mm-hmm. And so, I hate that I had to start the journey in that way, but it's really eye-opening. And I think that because I had to start my journey in the way that I did, it's empowering me to want to change that narrative and to make the fragrance space feel more inclusive, because our ideas are so valuable. Like we know it. This isn't just in fragrance. We know our ideas as Black folks are
top tier.
are top tier. Okay. And so we want to just empower people to take a chance on themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, this has been great. Like I learned so much. I would love to know too, if you could choose like a celebrity or a brand ambassador for Moodeaux, like who would be like your dream person to like represent it on like a large, like global scale?
Well, there's one person that comes to mind because I'm a super stan, but she already has her own thing going on, but it's okay. It would be Brianna. Like, I love her. I just love her. I don't stand for anybody. I don't even stand for Beyonce. Like, I don't stand from any. I love Beyonce though. The Beehive, if you're listening, I do love Beyonce.
Don't come for her, Beehive.
Don't come for me. But it would be Brianna, like her whole steez, like her whole vibe and persona. Like when she switched the flip on the bad girl era, like I just was like, yeah, she's something. Like she's something. And so it would definitely be her. I love her personality. I love her humility. I love her heart. I love her creativity and her drive to really like bulldoze anything that's in her way. She's gonna bulldoze right over it. Like she's such a star. So it would be her. Yeah.
I love that. I can see that because I love Rihanna. Like I'm a Beyonce fan, but I'm not part of the Beehive.
Yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Like I'm not in the hive. I think I very well might be in the Navy. I might be in the Rihanna Navy. Like I might be at this point because I just stand her so much. Like she's I think for me at least is she's such a standard of like being completely unfuckwittable. Like she is just so strong, so independent, so free-willed, and a free thinker that, she's our Moodeaux girl. She's the Moodeaux maven and like at her essence. So it would be her.
Yeah. I love that. Brianna, what are you working on your legacy to be like at the end of the day?
What am I working on my legacy to be? I don't think I want my legacy, my personal legacy to be Moodeaux. I want Moodeaux to be a part of that legacy. But at the end of the day, like my whole mission, which in turn is Moodeaux's mission, is empowering people to be self-expressive and to really prioritize their wellness through self-care. Like we cannot do all of the things if we are not well, or if we don't feel comfortable to express ourselves or to tell people how we're feeling, or to even tell ourselves how we're feeling, or to be honest about it at least, right? And so at my core, like that's just really what I'm about. And if I can motivate or empower or inspire someone to do that for themselves, like then I've done my job. Then my legacy is done. Like if I can do that, then I would feel fulfilled in life.
Yes, indeed. Do you have anything else that's coming up for yourself personally or for Budo?
Oh, wow. So we are working on a lot of stuff at Moodeaux. Still being very cognizant and mindful of like the global situation. Like not only is there panorama going on, there is also great inflation. Like everything is so high. Yeah. So we do have a few products coming down the line that I'm really excited about. We just launched our new Grab and Go Duo in a summer color. It's this fun, funky orange bag. Orange is our hero brand color. It's my favorite color too. We launched a new little pouch. It's our stash bag where a travel size version of Worthy is housed inside of that pouch. We launched that at Credo. We launched it on our site as well. We made it just for them, but for us too. And we launched that. We have travel size singles that just launched. So you can purchase we can purchase the travel size, not with the bag. That's fun. We have another scent in the works. We're working on some merch. Just really trying to be out here. Like catch us in these streets. Like, cause we're also popping up at the Credos across the country. We did New York. We did the LA store. So we're going to San Francisco still. We're going to Chicago. We're going to Texas. We're going to Boston. So we have a lot of things. Probably too many things, but we have a lot of things going on.
You got it. It's one thing I did not ask you about, and that's the production. Like, what's the production side of it look like? Do you have like a warehouse or some kind of facility, people in there, dropping?
Yeah, that's a part of the whole delegation exercise that I'm giving myself, just learning how to delegate. Yeah, we have a 3PL that they'll be taking over all of our like warehouse and fulfillment operations, which will allow, you know, me to kind of focus on other things. So we're excited to be partnering with a 3PL down here in Georgia. But yeah, we have a team. We have team members.
Yes, okay. Like this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for doing this.
Of course, this is so fun.
Yes, before you go, I have to ask you the Friends of Beauty rapid fire questions.
Yes, let's do it.
So whatever comes to your mind first, just spit it out.
Okay.
So what are your top 3 keys to your success so far?
Okay, I would say trust in myself and my ability to get it done. I would say my transferable skills, like I can always pick and pull from some sort of job experience to leverage for Moodeaux. And then I would also say my ability to get out there and network with people and just forge good relationships.
Awesome. How do you measure your success?
How do I measure success? A successful day for me is if I made progress towards a goal. Like it could be the smallest step that I've taken. I just know that I made a step and that is successful. That makes it successful to me. I did something.
Yeah. What's the best advice you've ever received?
The best advice I've ever received would be don't take it personal, even though I still take things personal all the time. And I say it's the best advice because it's something that I still try to remember in operating a business is, you know, having a lot of emotional intelligence and being able to, be self-aware and aware of others, but not to take every little thing that goes wrong or every little bit of something that someone says so personal and that it hinders your ability to want to keep moving. So don't take it personal.
Yeah, I'm reading the 4 agreements right now, and that's one of the 4 agreements.
Yeah, don't take it personal. It's just business, but at the same time, like it is more than just business. But like I think the biggest part is knowing that you can get positive or negative feedback and not necessarily internalize it as fact for yourself.
Absolutely.
I think that's been a really good lesson for us, or for me at least.
Absolutely. What advice would you give to another Black woman who is trying to, you know, launch her fragrance brand, but is not panning out the way that she wants? She's like, you know what, I might as well just give up and do something else.
I would say really try to pick it apart at what is frustrating about your venture, like what is going wrong, like really be honest with yourself. I think in the age of social media, you see everyone's highlights from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. And it can be so daunting to then look at yourself and think like, oh, I'm not there yet, right? But, you know, when you're comparing your success to others, or if you're trying to walk in someone else's path because you saw the steps that they took, like you're immediately going to fail. Like you're going to fail if you're not doing it for yourself, if you're not genuine in your intentions, if you're not telling your story. And so at any point, like I felt like I was screwing up, I would always just come back and be like, is this true to me? Am I being intentional? Like, because now that I feel like I am operating in a space of intentionality, like things are just happening. Not to say it's easy.
Yeah.
This shit is hard. It's not easy. But I will say, because I feel like I'm honestly, truly operating in my purpose, like, and I believe in God for those who are listening. I feel like God is opening the doors. Like I find myself going into spaces and rooms a little bit more easily and with more confidence, or not easily, a little bit more fluidly, and then with more confidence, because I know that this is what I feel like I should be doing. Yeah. So check in with yourself, do a gut check, be honest with yourself. Don't follow in people's footsteps. Try to be unique. Do your own thing, and it should work out. It should work out.
Yes. What's a resource that helps you in your business that you can share with the Friends of Beauty community?
A resource. I would say, because we have a lot of things going on, project planning and project management is really, really important for us. So I use a software called Monday. There's a million different types of software. Like I'm finding new ones to this day that kind of do the same thing. But Monday is a project management tool that has an online tool where you can really like map out and see what your goals are, like your tasks, like what your team members are doing, what the status is on all these different moving parts. I think that that's a tool that I find invaluable, and that, to keeping me moving forward, I need to know what's going on. So Monday's important. There's like one called Asana. Mm-hmm. There's so many, but
Budo.
Yeah, there's this other one, and I cannot think of it. I can see it, what it looks like clear as day, but they're popping up everywhere. But just some tool where you can manage yourself, and have visibility into like what other people are doing for your business and where deadlines stand, etc. That's helpful.
Okay. The last one, I just want you to fill in the blank. I want you to say, my name is blank.
Okay.
The key to longevity and success is whatever you think it is.
Okay. My name is Brianna Arps, and the key to success and longevity is taking the leap. Taking the leap, I would say. Yeah.
Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it. What's the worst going to happen? What's the worst going to happen? Just do it.
Before you go, share all of your social media or how you would like people to connect with you.
Yeah, so you all can follow me personally at Brianna Arps. So that's BriannaArps on Instagram. That's where I'm most active, but I also have a Twitter and a Facebook, but don't go on Facebook because who knows what's there. For Moodeaux's account, our Instagram is Moodeaux Official. So that's MOODEAUX Official. On Twitter, we're just Moodeaux, and we mainly use that for customer service. So if you have an issue, holler at us there. And we have a Facebook, Moodeaux Official, and then LinkedIn. You can find us at Moodeaux.
Okay. Yay. Thank you so much, Brianna, for sharing with us.
Yes, this is so fun. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. Share this episode with at least one friend in beauty, and subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts so that other friends in beauty can find this show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, # Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.